Say https ://.
Yeah, I got this.
Say
Hey,
https
wait. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 100. No, not 100. We're a whole 100 episodes ahead of that. 220 of the Gamingdeath Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. With me tonight, I have Austin from https://www.twitch.tv/Austindo140 and youtube.com/Austindo.
Yeah.
I told you I'd do it.
There you go. You nailed it.
I did nail it.
That is exactly where I am from. Spot on.
A lot of you guys that listen to the show probably know Austin from the R&M podcast, which Austin used to be a part of. You were one of the founding members. I know that we have a bunch of cross listeners between your show and our show.
Yep.
So that's where everybody probably knows Austin from.
Yep.
Our chat room's probably going to be dead tonight because we're an hour and a half earlier than we normally are.
I know. I'm sorry I couldn't. I mean, I wanted to go at the normal time, but I just started school recently, and so I've got to be up pretty early, and I've also got some homework I got to do still tonight. So,
dude, in all honesty, I'd rather do the show at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I work at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're in the same boat then.
So, like, my schedule after I finish, like, we finish recording. Me and, like, a normal podcast night, we start at 9:30. We actually don't go live until about 9:40 because Caleb's always late. We go till about 10:40, 11 o'clock. Then me and Caleb end up talking for like an hour. Then I edit the podcast, post it on YouTube, upload the podcast, post it to all of our podcatchers, and then go to bed. So I'm usually, on a normal podcast night, I'm usually in bed about 3.
Yeah, I've been there. I mean, one thing I guess a whole lot of people don't know, but when I was on R&M, of course I just left recently, but I was on there for about 4 years, and I've always done the editing, and so I know exactly what you mean. I mean, because we'd sit there and record for a couple hours, and it'd take me a few hours to edit and upload everything. So, yeah, it gets pretty rough. I know the podcast edit life, I guess.
The worst part about, like, when we used to not do the show live, editing used to take me a lot longer than it does now.
Oh yeah.
Ever since doing the show live, I leave a lot of the, like, bloopers and a lot of the in, a lot of the in, a lot of the weird stuff that normally that you'd pull out, because I want people to feel like they're listening live.
Yeah.
But when we used to not do a live show, editing would take me like a day and a half.
Yeah, so I mean that's what we did. We never did live shows, so and the way we recorded too, we would each record our own videos and our own audio, and I would mix them all together on my end, which was occasionally a complete nightmare because of internet lag and whatnot, and so I'd have to sync everything up, and it was just terrible at times, but
that sounds like a complete and total pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, it made the podcast sound incredible, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, it took me probably at least 3 hours to edit every week, so it was pretty.
I have a co-host that won't go out and buy like an actual microphone. He records on like iPhone microphones from his phone. So, like, I'm like, yo, we have like 2,000 subscribers now, and we get like close to 200 emails a week. Maybe you should put a little bit of effort into this. And he's, nah, it's all right. They like it. Okay. That's cool.
Whatever works.
Whatever works, Caleb. Love you. He's never going to hear this anyway. He doesn't listen to the podcast. So how have you been? You haven't been on the show for a while. The last time people probably have heard you was episode 200 when you and Coach recorded
oh God,
a thing for us. So how have you been? What's new? What's going on? Gaming-wise, life-wise, everything-wise.
I've been pretty awesome lately. I guess the main thing is I transferred schools. I'm at the University of Georgia now, which is a big step up for me. So, just fun, I guess, being in the university life, but it also makes me a lot more busy compared to community school. So, I'm taking some pretty heavy-hitting classes this fall, but I guess that's really the main thing I've been up to. I've been streaming every now and then, but as a whole, I've kind of been taking a break off of the whole content creation thing for a little while now. Yeah,
it's understandable. Like, funny story for people that don't know. Like, I remember when you used to be like a sickly like high school kid.
Yes.
And to hear like, oh, I'm transferring colleges and this kind of shit. It's like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think about that all the time, honestly, because I guess another thing, I don't really talk about it much, but I had a lot of trouble in high school with migraines. Not only that, but my house burned down at one point, so that wasn't the best experience either. But I had a lot of yeah. I had a lot of trouble in high school, just overall, especially after the fire. Just a lot of depression and stuff, which was unfortunate, but I guess it kind of goes with it. But yeah, it's just crazy to look back on where I was and like where I am now. It's just insane.
But I can understand
where I was.
I can understand you because you were content creating back then. I can understand you taking a step back a little bit, from content creating. If I was still doing the YouTube constantly and trying to stream on Twitch every night and my balls to the wall like we used to do back when we were youngins, I don't think I'd be alive right now.
I mean, I used to do a lot of video stuff for my YouTube channel, and it was pretty time consuming. I guess my biggest issue now is I just don't really have the time for that anymore, which is unfortunate because I would like to do some reviews and stuff like I used to, but it is kind of nice to take a break and just focus on school and friends and life and whatnot. So
which is it's good. The worst part is though, you don't get more time as you get older. I'll warn you now. Like,
oh yeah, I mean my time there is kind of gone at this point. I mean,
I'm 30 now, and I'm gonna be 31 this in December. Yes, I know I'm really fucking old, guys, but it's one of those things where it's like, me and Dawn are planning a family, and we want to have kids, and we both work full time, and I've got responsibilities at home, and it's like, like I'm in the middle of playing through the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Like, everybody that's listened to the podcast knows that I've been playing through all the Kingdom Hearts series. And it took me like 3 weeks to get through Kingdom Hearts 1, and I played 18 hours of the game, and it took me 18 hours to complete it.
Yeah.
And that's 3 weeks of the only game I played. And I remember when I could sit down and play, 12 hours of a game and get up and not have to do anything else for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I had done that too. I mean, I had some time this summer because I didn't have a summer job or anything, and I didn't take any summer classes for once. But so I kind of just sat around playing games all summer, which was fun. But by the end of it, I was starting to go insane because I was like, "This is too much. I can't do this anymore." Like, I can't sit here playing games like constantly for weeks on end. This just isn't working.
there's just something about it where you just need to, like, I need actual human interaction.
Yeah, right.
And like, I don't care if I go to a mall and like walk into every store just so that someone says hi to me when I walk into the store. I just need somebody to say something to me.
Yeah.
I've been there. What have you been playing though? You've been gaming at all?
So, I started school last Monday, so I'm kind of at the start of the semester, so I'm not too busy yet, but my time has been a little limited. I've been playing a few things. I guess let's see, let me think about this. I guess Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds I've been playing more of. Which at this point, I don't even know how many hours I put in that game. I want to say close to 100. But that game is just incredible. I
really like that game.
Yeah, I had played the mod that it was based off of on Arma 3.
Okay.
I think it's called Battle Royale. I played a little of that. My problem is Arma 3 is not... I mean, it's fun, but it's not very well optimized, at least on my computer. Like, I have a hard time running that game for some reason. I think it's probably because I have an AMD processor, and that game doesn't really play well with AMD. But so I had played some of that before, and I enjoyed it. But as soon as I got Battlegrounds, I mean, it was just a huge step up. And I've just been playing it with friends a lot, and just going into that game and rolling with 4 people, it's just a ton of fun. Even though it can get repetitive, I guess some people kind of don't understand the point of it, because it's kind of like you're just going in, looting, dying. But it's just so rewarding, and the gameplay is super addicting. So
I had a lot of fun with it because nobody else that I really know plays PC stuff except for Heroes of the Storm or StarCraft 2 or Dota. So it was like PUBG for me kind of just got really old really quick running by yourself.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And it was just like, oh, I guess I'm playing, I guess I'm crawling in this field, I guess I'm dead. Lovely.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And that's, I guess, part of the issue with that game is if you're playing on your own, I will agree it's like not quite as enjoyable. But thankfully, I've got a few friends that are just kind of playing it all the time. One of my friends is putting maybe 350 hours into that game.
Shit.
Yeah. So he's just kind of always playing. So, but yeah, solo play isn't as good. I have been messing around a lot lately, though. They added in the first-person mode, which is pretty cool because you can't like corner peek and everything. It makes it a lot more tense. So that's been fun. But
when is that game coming to PS4?
I don't know, because they at Gamescom this past weekend they announced that they were like partnering with Microsoft for the Xbox version. So it sounds to me like we might be in a Rise of the Tomb Raider situation again, which is unfortunate.
So the game won't come out till a year after the beta comes out on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's just my interpretation. I might be wrong, but I know it's supposed to come out on Xbox this fall at some point, but PS4, I'd guess probably next fall on PS4. That would be my guess, which is shitty because I don't want to buy it on Xbox One. I want to buy it on PS4.
That's my what the hell's the other Conan Exiles?
Yeah.
Either like the beta just started on Xbox One or just came out on Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to play that game on console. Like that's a game I want to play on console. I played a little bit of the beta on PC, but all my friends are on console, and that's a game I think we could all really get into.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, it's coming to Xbox One at this time. We don't know when it's coming to PS4. And I was just like,
yeah,
why are you guys partnering with the crappy platform with shitty, crappy interface?
Yeah, I don't get it. Especially when, I guess maybe it's something on Sony's side. I know they've been a little weird lately with like crossplay and stuff. They've been just like turning people down, which is kind of odd. But it just doesn't make any sense to me because the PS4 at this point has sold like 60 million units at least. And the Xbox One, I want to say, is not even half that. So, naturally, if you're putting your game on PS4, you're going to sell more units. That's just how that works. So, yeah, I don't really understand. like I said, maybe it's just something with Sony being pricks, but it doesn't make any sense to me why so many games like these are coming to Xbox first.
It reminds me of like Nintendo back in the Super NES days when they were winning really hard.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? We're gonna be dicks because we can.
Yeah.
And the thing that Sony doesn't have that Nintendo did back then is Sega was nowhere near Nintendo back in those days.
Yes.
Xbox isn't that far behind.
No.
And the Switch is outselling both consoles, so...
Yeah. You're right about that.
So it's like, what Sony, let's get on this. That was like Minecraft. They were like, oh yeah, no crossplay on Minecraft.
Yeah,
because think of the children.
Really bothers me. It doesn't make any sense. If Nintendo can do crossplay, freaking Sony can. I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, I don't play Minecraft enough to really like be bothered by it too much, but it still is really unfortunate. Yeah, it just doesn't, like I said, it just doesn't, some of the stuff doesn't make any sense to me. But
the thing that really bothers me about it is it's a step towards platform agnostic, being platform agnostic, where it doesn't matter what platform you have and what platform I have, we can play together.
Yeah.
And that's a really big step for the medium and the hobby in general. And the fact that Sony is literally holding back the hobby and holding back, you know, the community by being like, no, we don't want crossplay. And people being like, oh, well, it's a huge business decision. They're already in the lead. They don't need that. And it's like, but they're supposed to be world leaders in this community being in the lead. You're not supposed to be like, oh, we know how much this will push the genre and everything forward and how this will be a game changer. But nah, let's not do that. It reminds me of PS3, like PS3 launch era Sony, and not when PS4 first came out and they were like the cool kids.
Yeah. And
it bothers me because I really like Sony. I've always liked Sony. I think they screwed up with the PS3, but
I agree.
Aside from that, I think that they're a great company and they make really good product. They're just making some really shitty business decisions.
I mean, it's interesting because they've made some smart decisions lately. I mean, obviously the PS4 was a big one, but there's also stuff like the Vita and PSVR and stuff like that, which just, I don't know, it's just very odd to me. Like, especially PSVR, I don't understand what they're doing with that thing. It came out, and I want to say it sold like 2 million or 1.5 million, maybe. But they have literally 0 games coming out for it going forward, aside from the few specific modes in Gran Turismo Sport. And it's like, okay, why are you releasing this $400 hardware add-on with 0 games in development? It's astounding to me, but I guess that's just Sony.
That's the thing with Sony is they release really cool products. Like, I don't think VR is cool. I won't lie. I think VR is flash in the pan. It's like the Kinect. It's like the PlayStation camera. Like, the only reason I have a PlayStation camera is to stream, so that because people watch you when your face is up there.
I can understand that.
VR was a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about it. Everybody cares about is because TVs are taking a step forward. HDR is actually coming down in price, and that's what people care about. Is the HDR, the pixel quality, the frame rate, the true colors, the vibrant colors. That's what people care about. They don't care about VR. And VR inherently is going to look crappier than your new $600 TV that you just bought.
Yes.
So they come out with these cool products like the Vita, which was an amazing piece of hardware, or the VR, which is a cool piece of tech, a little expensive, maybe not the right time to come out with it, and then they don't support it, and then they just let it die. They did the same thing with the PSP. The PSP was an awesome handheld. They supported it for like 6 months, and then they go, oh, well, it's not doing as well as we wanted it to. Let's just keep focusing on the home console. And that's not how you support a handheld.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, like you said too, I love Sony, but I would like to see some smarter stuff going on. But I guess we'll see. Like I said, the biggest thing for me right now is the crossplay. I just don't understand. Like, okay, and because I know the big thing is lately, or at least I've been reading into, was Rocket League. Xbox is like, yeah, we'll have crossplay with Sony, no problem. But Sony's like, no, absolutely not.
Yep.
Just I don't get it. I have no reason. There's no reason why they can't work together.
The developers for, I believe it was Rocket League, even came out and said, oh, we have it working where it's cross-platform, Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah.
We have it working in-house, just Sony won't allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I read that, I believe, yesterday, and I was like, fucking Sony, get shit together.
Yeah.
Because, like, even their latest reveal was kind of like Gamescom reveal was kind of like a super letdown.
The Gran Turismo thing.
Yeah, because
PS4. Yeah.
They bring out they post this fucking thing where it just looks like this big box or something, and they're like, gear up for a thing, and I'm like, oh, it's a fucking racing game because they said gear up, and I was like, what is it? A Gran Turismo PS5 is a PS4 Pro, and then they come out and it's like, oh, it's a Gran Turismo PS4, not even a PS4 Pro, just a Gran Turismo PS4.
That is so crazy to me that it's just a PS4 and not a Pro.
And I'm like, you guys realize the Scorpio comes out like in like 3 months, right? Are you guys going to support the Pro? Did you guys just put the Pro out there to die as well? What the hell?
So I bought a Pro, because I got a 4K TV a few months ago, and so I bought a Pro because I wanted something that could actually take advantage of it.
Right.
And I gotta say, I mean, I did sell my PS4 to get it, so I got like $150 or whatever. I ended up paying $250 for the Pro prior to tax, but it's not really worth it. I mean, I hope the Scorpio is better, but like, I don't really see a difference with much of anything. I mean, there's a few things, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's another thing to throw in with PSVR and Vita.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, you get all these people, I'm not sure if you're in the Beyond group still or not.
No, I left.
Oh, did you leave?
Yeah, I left probably about a year ago. I hate that group.
Why do you hate that group? Wait.
Oh, last time I was in it, it was just arguing all the time.
Yeah, that's all it is, all the time.
I'm like, I can't partake in this anymore.
Oh, it's the best. I love watching people just argue with each other constantly.
What I've decided to do, though, with most of the groups I'm in now, like I'm in the Kind of Funny group still, but I've got it set so that none of it shows up on my news feed. So I'm like technically in that group. I just don't see any of it. So, anyway, go ahead.
I left I left the Kind of Funny group. I ditched the whole Greg Miller thing after he turned on Colin really bad. And I couldn't.
Understandable.
I like, they were a team together. It was like Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
And like, I understand like Colin walking away, but then the shit that Greg ended up saying about Colin afterwards and everything, and just kind of being a shitty person to someone who helped get him to where he is.
Yeah.
Really, really bothered me.
I agree.
And like, people are like, oh, well, you know, it's business, and I'm like, motherfucker, it's not business. They were best friends. Like, literally, they were best friends. They left
for like 10 years.
They left together. They left IGN together to do this together. It wasn't Nick. It wasn't anybody else. It was Greg and Colin left IGN to go start Kind of Funny. It was their decision to leave together. And then to have Greg just kind of like throw him under the bus the way that he did, just, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'm done with this. And the worst part about that is I used to look up to that guy. I think a lot of people did. And,
Absolutely.
You know, you still doing journalism? Is that what you're still going to school for?
Yeah. I'm. The way our degrees are set up at UGA, though, are a little different. So, I mean, I guess it's maybe not different anymore, but it's not so much just writing anymore. It's now like they're teaching us Premiere and Photoshop and stuff of that sort too.
I'm glad that they're doing that.
Yeah, which is great. And I'm also doing it's not technically a minor, it's a certificate for new media, which is a lot of that same stuff, like Photoshop, like expanded tutorials on Photoshop and Premiere and like coding and all of that too. So I'll have that on my degree as well. But yeah, I'm still doing journalism. But just on the topic of, Colin and Greg were two of the people that really inspired me to do that. So
yep.
Yeah.
They inspired this podcast, so
Yeah.
So there's that. So did you get yourself an SNES pre-order? Classic pre-order?
Did anyone?
I know some people did. They're chatting about it in the Podcast Beyond group and shit.
I tried. I was there the second they went up at GameStop and couldn't get the website to load, so nope. And then, of course, Best Buy and freaking Amazon went up at like 3 in the morning when I was asleep. So those were out of question.
Best Buy went up at like 2 a.m. And I was like, okay, I see Best Buy stuff. I'm like, all right, Amazon. I still have a chance for Amazon. And then like I'm reading articles and it's like, oh yeah, Amazon, by the way, went up at 5 a.m. this morning. And I was like, oh, guess I'm not getting one of these.
So no, I did not get one. I mean, I've been looking. Here's my thing. And I don't know, because I don't know that I've heard your opinion on it, but I'm not like particularly excited for this thing. I mean, it's cool, but it's not like be all end all, like, oh my god, I need this. It's more of just like, okay, I need to pre-order one of these things because I know if I don't get one at launch, I am never going to have one. Which I guess is kind of a bad move consumer-wise on Nintendo's part, but kind of forcing people into buying them just because they know there's no other option down the road.
Like, that bothers me.
Yeah.
That really bothers me, is that it's like, oh, by the way, if you guys want one of these, you have to get it at launch, or you're never, ever, 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 ever going to get one.
Yeah. I mean, because at this point, unless somehow I get a pre-order, I doubt I'll ever get one. Because me personally, I'm not the type of person to go sit and wait at a store for, 6 hours at launch for one. And I'm not the type of person either to go hunting around stores for months for one of these things. It's just, for me at least, it's a waste of time.
Those days are done and over with for me as well. The last time I did that was for the launch Amiibos.
I did that too.
Not doing that again.
Nope.
Now, when a new Amiibo comes out, if I don't get a pre-order on it, I don't get the pre-order on it, and then I guess I don't get it.
Yeah.
Which sucks, by the way, because I still, I'm missing I have every Zelda Amiibo under the sun except for one.
Yeah, the Zelda ones really bothered me, because I wanted the, what is it, the 30th anniversary ones or whatever?
Yep.
With, the Twilight Princess Link and the Majora and Ocarina Link and Tetra. I wanted all those, and I couldn't get any of them, except for the 8-bit, but he's pretty easy to find.
I got all of them except for the one with the Goron mask. It's the only Zelda Amiibo I don't have.
Yeah, I have, aside from that set, the 30th anniversary, I have all of the Zelda ones.
Which makes me mad, because I'm like, I could buy a Japanese import for $50. This thing is $14. Do I buy the Japanese import for $50? Do I care about my collection that much? And then you go, $50 could buy me a new game or a new pair of shoes or, half of my grocery bill. And you're like, nope, one figure not worth $50.
Yeah.
Because definitely. I don't use them for anything. They get opened and then they sit on my shelf.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I use them with Breath of the Wild, but I mean, my time with that game is pretty much done. I mean, I'm sure I'll play it every now and then, but I won't sit there scanning like 15 amiibo at a time anymore.
I've been there and done that, but I've put 400 hours into Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so
why will I ever touch that game ever again?
Exactly.
It's one of the reasons I've yet to buy a Switch, because I'm like, what am I going to play on it?
Yeah, I can understand that. Definitely.
It's like the one day Amazon had Switches up for sale for Prime members only, and I bought and canceled a Nintendo Switch 6 times in a matter of 6 minutes. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this, and then I was like, nah, I could do other stuff with that money, but I really want this. No, I can't do it. 6 times, Austin. I ended up not buying it.
Oh my god.
The following week my car died and I had to buy a new one, so good thing I didn't buy the Switch.
Yeah, that's that was pretty good on your part. Yeah. I got one. I got a Switch and I like it, but I can understand why some people would not want one yet.
I want one. I really do. Like, I really want a Switch. There's certain games that I want to try on it. There's certain games that I'd like to play on the go that I can't play on the go right now with anything that I have. Like, I'm obsessed with The Binding of Isaac. I would love to be able to take The Binding of Isaac with me when I go to the therapist and I sit in the office for an hour, or when I'm out and about and I'm sitting places, or I go to my mom's, just to be able to play Binding of Isaac, or play ARMS is another game. I want to play ARMS. I don't know if it's any good, but I want to play it. Splatoon. I never got to play the first Splatoon. I'd love to play Splatoon on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff for it, for sure. I love mine. I play it a lot, actually, probably just about as much as I do my PS4, but I mean, they are kind of expensive, and I guess they're also hard to find, so that's an issue.
They're getting easier to find. We've walked into Target now. The past 2 times we've walked into Target, they've had them. So I'm assuming that they're getting easier to find.
Yeah.
Now what are you playing on the Switch?
So lately, I've been playing Splatoon. That's been my main thing. I've also, though, and this will, I guess, go into another thing I've been playing this week, but I also just bought Sonic Mania on Switch, which I know that's multi-plat, but I don't know, that just feels like a Switch game to me. I guess because it's kind of a platformer, kind of a classic platformer.
I thought it was exclusive.
Nintendo, but
until last week when Kaleb was like, no, you can buy it on PS4. I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Switch exclusive game.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes sense too. And like I said, I mean, it's not like Sonic is a Nintendo property, but it just, I don't know, I feel like it fits so well on a Nintendo system, and specifically the Switch, just because, it's the type of game you can play a level of or 2 of and put it down, and that's just so easy to do with the Switch with sleep mode and everything. So I guess those 2 have been my main ones lately. I'm trying to think if there's really been anything else. I mean, I've been playing some Zelda here and there with the DLC, but I guess it's really just those 2. But Splatoon, I think I played probably 40, 50 hours of. I freaking love that game.
Now, have you played ARMS yet?
I have not played the full version. I did play the test punches or whatever they were called, the betas.
Okay.
I want to say I played probably about 3 or 4 hours total of the betas, and I thought it was fantastic. Watching it, I feel like just doesn't really do it any justice, because you sit there and you watch it and it looks kind of slow, but when you're actually playing it, there's just so much strategy involved, and there's really a lot more going on in your head as you're actually playing it, compared to just watching gameplay. Because that was one of my main concerns. I think it was at the Switch unveiling they showed it off first, and I remember just watching it and being like, well, this looks kind of slow and like boring. But when you actually play it, it's really, really good, and it is a fighting game. There are, counters and certain moves you have to do in order to, kind of, I guess, hit the other person depending on their character and their arms layout, and it's really awesome. I do want to buy it at some point. I just haven't had the money. But
so it's a game I don't want to play. Never mind. I thought it was just going to be like a crazy button mashing fighting game like DOA, and to hear that it's like very technical, more like a Street Fighter, kind of bothers me. I hate Street Fighter.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's as technical as Street Fighter. I mean, it's not like a hardcore fighter. There's definitely some technicality to it. In fact, I don't even know that I would compare it to Smash. Like, I don't even know that it would be as complicated as Smash is, which really isn't that complicated either. But
at competitive levels, Smash is pretty complicated.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to get into. And granted, like I said, this is just the beta, so I don't know how good people are now. But when I was playing, I mean, I will tell you right now, I hate fighting games generally. I do not like Street Fighter. I don't like Tekken. It's not my thing. And I was doing pretty good playing this game, even though I hate these kind of games in general. So.
Okay, so that gives me hope then.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still, because I think it's $60 right now still, but I would recommend it based off what I played.
Okay.
So.
Talk to me about Sonic Mania, because this is a game I'm actually interested in.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Sonic fan. I don't think that's something people know about me. I actually, of course, only being 21, it wasn't like I grew up in like the Genesis era or anything, but as I was younger, I much preferred Sonic to Mario, drastically.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, which I know is not a very common thing, but I've just always loved Sonic, and specifically Sonic CD. It's probably my favorite.
What?
But
I'm sorry.
What?
I don't mean to laugh at you.
What? You don't like Sonic CD?
No, the game's terrible.
Oh my god, Sonic CD is so good. No, I like Sonic. I mean, I like the older ones, obviously 1 through 3 and CD. I really love the Game Boy Advance ones, Advance 1, 2, and 3. And anyway, back to Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is look, if you don't like Sonic CD, you're not gonna like Sonic Mania.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's more classic Sonic.
I want more classic Sonic. That's what I want. I want Sonic 1, 2, and 3.
Well, that's interesting that you like Sonic 1, 2, and 3, but not CD.
Yeah, I don't like CD.
Okay. Well, I guess if you like 1, 2, and 3...
Maybe I'm thinking of 3D Blast.
You might be.
I think I'm thinking of 3D Blast.
3D Blast is absolutely horrid. That is a terrible game.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
That is the one where it's like 3D and you're kind of like running around at a really slow pace.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah.
CD is an evolution of Sonic 3, is basically what that is. I mean, it's another 2D side-scroller.
Is that the one that was on the Saturn?
No, it was Sega CD. It was Sega CD exclusive. That's a really good game if you haven't played it. But yeah, I mean, it's Sonic Mania is really, again, just like CD was. It's just an evolution on classic Sonic, and it works really well. I mean, obviously, if you weren't into that gameplay, 30 years ago or whatever, 25 years ago, you won't like it now because it's pretty much the same thing. I want to say the guy who made it kind of perfectly recreated how Sonic 1 played, mechanically and graphically as well. There are a few changes here and there, like now you can jump, and as soon as you hit the ground you can dash forward which is actually a pretty cool move to have. So there's a few different things, but I guess the main thing is there's a lot of nostalgia at play because it takes these older levels from Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and it completely remixes them. And, you start off playing Green Hill Zone, and I want to say the first level is identical to the original in Sonic 1. But as you continue playing, it gets just insane. And it's not like, oh, I can't believe this is a Sonic game, but it just fits really naturally with Sonic. And it really feels like what Sonic 4 should have been. Yeah, absolutely. So, I'd recommend it personally. It's only $20, which is a freaking steal. And I want to say it's maybe only 5-6 hours, but if you get everything, but it's worth it. It really is. Like I said, if you like those older Sonic games, absolutely buy it. Or if you've never played an older Sonic game, try it out.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that someone who's never played Sonic before, this is the game for them? You don't think that this is a very heavy nostalgic game and only people that are very fond of...
It's possible. It's hard for me to say since I am so nostalgic of it, but you can always go back and play Sonic 1 or you can play this one. I guess either way you're kind of getting generally the same mechanics, and because I know a lot of people don't really like the way Sonic plays, but I do. So
do I. I wouldn't say I prefer it to Mario, but I also really like the way that Sonic plays.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I had both Sonic and Mario in the house growing up, so it's just one of those things. Now, I'm going to switch topics on you. Did you see the Shenmue 3 trailer that came out?
I did not.
Oh. Oh.
My reasoning behind it is I have only played about an hour of Shenmue 1. Never played Shenmue 2. I don't know if that trailer spoils anything from those games, so I don't watch.
Not really. It doesn't really spoil much of anything. The reason I bring it up is people are bitching really hard about Mass Effect Andromeda's facial shit, and
oh god,
the Shenmue 3 trailer still looks like a Dreamcast game.
So it looks like the facial animations are the same as they were in the first game. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
If you're on a computer right now, I beg you to look it up.
Oh no.
I beg you to look it up. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just watch like the first 15 seconds of this trailer.
Okay, let's see here.
And I can capture this live now on the podcast. Austin seeing these goddamn animations for the first time.
Let's be the first teaser. Alright, let's see here. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
The fire looks pretty decent.
Okay, the fire looks great. Wait till the people come on screen.
Uh-huh. Okay. Main character looks like he got hit in the nuts. Okay. They look like they had a little too much plastic surgery. Okay, yeah, this is a little weird.
It looks just like the Dreamcast game.
Odd. Why the hell is his head so big? What? Okay, yeah, I don't... It's so weird, too, because the environments they're showing are gorgeous. They look really good.
Right? That was my thing. I was like...
Jesus. It's like having the Horizon Zero Dawn world and putting, Lego characters into it.
Right? Okay. So...
That's horrible. Oh my god.
Because they started off with this really badass fire, and they show you this running river that looks really badass, and then they show you then they go into the characters, and the characters, they honestly look like giant babies.
Yes, they do.
They look like giant cartoon babies running around this, like, really realistic looking, beautiful world. And it's like, that is where your Kickstarter money went, friends. Was that river? That water's gonna flow like real water, but it's gonna look really funky. I couldn't look past it. I was just like, wow.
So let me ask, before going into this trailer, were you excited for this game?
Yes, very much so.
And what's your opinion now?
I'll watch a Let's Play of it.
Yeah. Like I said, I've never played 1 and 2. I've kind of been holding out because there's been those rumors of 1 and 2 remaster for PS4 and Xbox One for like a year now. Although I don't know if it's actually going to happen. So I've kind of been holding out for those, but
don't do it.
I don't know. That's kind of concerning. What I just watched.
Don't do it. Like, even if those remasters come out, don't do it.
Yeah.
Those games are really boring. Like, the time and place when Shenmue 1 and 2 first came out was the right time for them to come out. There was nothing like them out.
Yeah.
They captured, like, a living world really well. But since then, so many games have done it so much better and better looking and with more things to do and even a better story. And it's just kind of one of those things where I've heard the rumors of a collection coming, and I'm like, I love those games, but I know that they don't hold up. I know for a fact that they're hot street trash, and I would not wish that upon anybody who's never played them before.
I mean, I can understand that, especially just a lot of games from that era are really hard to go back to. I mean, I think the big one for me, at least, is Resident Evil. As much as I freaking love those games, I cannot play the originals anymore. I just can't.
Resident Evil 2 is one of my all-time favorite games of all time, ever, in a million years. Like, Ocarina of Time, Resident Evil 2, some of the Mega Mans, they're up there. But I've tried to go back and play Resident Evil 2, and it's like, you just can't. It looks like somebody spread mud all over your screen. And like, I remember
the controls are just.
I don't mind the tank controls. I actually really enjoyed the tank controls. But it's like the visuals are just.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how back in the day I was able to be like, oh, that's ammo, that's a plant, that's a door, and that's a window.
Yeah.
Because we're spoiled now and everything looks hyper-realistic and awesome, or very cartoony and awesome.
I just hope that remake comes out soon, because Resident Evil 2, aside from 4, is my favorite. And I want to play it again, but I cannot play the original. So
you're on the right podcast then. We talk about the Resident Evil 2 remake at least once a month.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Because I know they said this year, I forget who it was, but somebody from Capcom was like, 2017 is the year of Resident Evil. Okay, there's been, let me think about this. There's been one Resident Evil release. Okay. What makes that the year of Resident Evil exactly?
Well, aren't Switch owners also getting the DS game?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Resident Evil Revelations
and 2 together, I believe.
And that's cool, I guess, but still, like, those are old games.
They're good games.
It's not really...
Resident Evil 2
they're good.
Is an old game.
They're good. Yeah, but Resident Evil 2, the remake, is not going to be an old game.
Did you play 7?
No, I haven't played 7 yet.
You should play 7.
Yeah, that was my plan to this summer, and then I didn't. So.
And then you played PUBG.
Yeah. So.
7's a phenomenal game. Like,
yeah, it looks really good.
That's the last game I beat in one sitting with Kaleb watching, like I was share playing so that Kaleb could watch me play it because he didn't have time to play it.
Mm.
And that was a phenomenal game. And my only problem with it is it sold really well. It did really well. It commercially, critically, both did really well. But I don't want another Resident Evil in that style.
Yeah.
Like, it worked really well for this game, but I don't want another first-person Resident Evil.
Yeah, I think that kind of gets old after a while. I mean, I guess it depends on what the developers do with it, but it's a fresh take on the series, but at the same time, I think a lot of people still like the way it was before. So, I don't know. Just give us 4-style gameplay. That's all I want. Just not with unlimited ammo and and quick time events constantly and explosions everywhere. Let's pass on that, please.
You should play 7.
Yeah.
It is 4-style gameplay except in first person, without explosions every 5 seconds and unlimited ammo. Like, it is, it's scary, it's great, if you like survival horror and you like Resident Evil, it's like the survival horror game to be like, oh, see, someone does still know how to make a survival horror game. Well, at least Capcom does.
Yeah. It's weird, because I feel like there really have been almost no survival horror games lately. Like, aside from Resident Evil 7 and Outlast 2. I can't really think of many compared to, like, I don't know, 2008, 9. I feel like we were getting a lot of horror games in that short time period with stuff like Fear and Dead Space. I guess technically Resident Evil 5.
Well, we got Evil Within's new in the
That's
States,
true. Yeah.
Which was a phenomenal game done by the Silent Hill guy. We should have gotten another Silent Hill, but Konami's a piece of shit. And then, but everybody's going, the Outlast route or the Five Nights at Freddy's route.
Yeah, I don't like
these
that.
Days. And it's like, I don't want to be a helpless dude running through an asylum. That's not what I want.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that, and that's why I have not touched Alien Isolation yet. As good as I have heard that game is, I know it's exactly the same where you're just running the whole time. I don't like that. That just doesn't seem fun to me, and that's part of why, Outlast, I want to say I played about half of, and I got, halfway through or whatever, and at that point I was just like, okay, this really isn't scary anymore because I kind of know everything. Like, I'm just sitting here walking around,
just finding
stuff.
Motions. Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's my problem with those games is, there's nothing to fight. Which, I don't know. I just don't like that style, personally.
See, my problem with that style is it's the cheap scare. It's not the...
Yes.
It's not
100%.
It's not the tension. It's not the cerebral, the skill based, the actual oh, I'm scared because I feel like I'm in danger. It's I'm scared because I know you're gonna pop something out at me and I'm gonna jump and it's gonna startle me. It's not actually gonna scare me. It's gonna startle me.
Mm-hmm.
And those startle mechanic horror games, it's what a lot of horror movies do these days, where you get, oh, well, here's this horror, and it's not even going to be smart horror. It's just going to be like, oh, there's a monster that jumps out at you. Ha ha ha, look, we scared you. It's like, no, you startled us. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's why even as good as the game is, even Dead Space for me was kind of like that at times, where I was playing that game and just so much of that game is just jump scares. There's parts where there's just bodies laying on the ground, they just pop up. And those are the scariest parts of the game, and it's just okay, at this point, I know it's gonna happen. I'm expecting it because every freaking body I see is gonna start popping up. I don't know. I like, from what I've seen, what they've done with 7, and I hope games kind of pull from it for more innovative horror stuff.
What I liked about 7 was they did some of the the tropey stuff, some of the here is a jump scare for you, my friend, and they don't reuse it. They're not like, oh, by the way, here's that jump scare you just saw. We're gonna play it up like there's another jump scare, and we're gonna throw something completely different at you, or we're not gonna throw anything at you at all. And it kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's fucking it's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's horror done right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what did you play Evil Within? It's what Evil Within did too.
No, that's another game that has been on my shelf for probably 2 years that I have not touched, and I've been meaning to get to it for so long now. Especially with 2 coming out, I'm gonna have to here pretty soon, because I know a lot of people compare it to 4, Resident Evil 4, and like I said, I love that game. So,
see, my biggest thing with Evil Within is, did you ever play Alan Wake on the Xbox 360 or the PC?
Yes, one of my favorite games of all time.
You know how the story's really mindfucky?
Yes.
Evil Within is like that. It's got a really mindfuck story. It's like if you were to take Inception and Twin Peaks and Resident Evil and combine them into a story, that's the story for Evil Within. And
that's interesting.
It's bonkers and it's crazy and the payoff is amazing and you're never quite sure what's real and what isn't. And
yeah,
making me want to play that game again.
Yeah, I bought that game forever ago and it's just been sitting on my shelf. I don't think I've ever put it in my PS4.
It's alright. I did that with Dishonored 2.
Yeah. But I am going to play it soon. Maybe that's something I'll do in October, right before the first game, or the second game, sorry. So I can go right into the second one. But
see, just shoot a YouTube video of you playing it and screaming like a bitch every 5 seconds and you'll go viral.
Yeah.
And you'll be super famous, like that PewDiePie guy who likes Nazis, and everything will be awesome.
JonTron.
I don't even know who the fuck JonTron is. If you can tell, that's not somebody I watch on YouTube. I watch a lot of the I still watch a shit. I watch more YouTube than I did when I was really big, into the YouTube scene. And I just watch a lot of the old machinima guys, what the fuck's his name? Not Mini Lad, C-Nanners, and those guys.
Yeah, I still watch some people on YouTube, but I don't know, not a whole lot, I guess.
Every once in a while, I'll go check and see what Flip's doing.
Yeah, he's been doing some good stuff.
He does weird shit.
Yeah.
Kid's weird. My favorite thing, and we talk about Flip a lot on this podcast because we get emails to have him back on the podcast, and we haven't had him on the podcast since episode 11. And we get people being like, "Oh, you guys should have Flip back on the podcast," which I think is Flip, but I'm not positive.
It could be. But that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's been doing some pretty cool stuff lately.
I know he got in with the Game Chasers, and he got in with a lot of those guys, and it's really cool to see that. And then a year ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm quitting everything and I'm going to rap."
Yeah, I remember that. I guess it was a joke for his fake documentary or something, but it was absolutely hilarious seeing him on Facebook saying he was a full-time rapper for a good 3 or 4 months. 6 months.
Yeah. He was I'm a rapper. And he took it, I give kudos to the kid, because he took it so far where, he stopped doing the DVD reviews, he stopped doing the video game stuff, and all he did was, this rap stuff. And I was like, that is fucking commitment to a joke.
Yep.
I love that kid to death, though, man. He's a weird fucking dude, but I love him to death. I don't talk to him at all anymore, but I still love him to death.
No, I haven't talked to him in forever. But
I talked to fucking who is the last person that I talked to from there? Besides you, I think. Seth. Seth was the last person I talked to. But you know Seth because you two were like inseparable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those things. All right, you ready to wrap up the show? We've been going for like an hour.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you guys want to get in contact with the podcast, you can send emails to podcast@gamingdeath.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/gamingdeath, twitch.tv/gamingdeath we're live usually every Tuesday at 9:30, a little early this week because Austin, no Kaleb. By the way, Caleb's in London for the next 2 weeks, guys. So I have Austin this week, and I'm going to try, now I have a week to track down somebody for next week. So it might be earlier again next week. But remember, rate and review us. Austin, where can people find your stuff?
Yeah, so I guess my main thing lately is just follow me on Twitter at Austindo, AUSTINDO 140. Like I said, I occasionally make stuff on YouTube and Twitch, and you can search my name on there as well. It's usually either Austindo or Austindo 140, so just check those places. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter, I guess. I'm on there a lot.
Follow Austin on Twitter. You got that? Don't follow Mario Kart 140. He is not Mario Kart 140 anymore.
Please don't. Please don't follow that.
He's not Mario Kart 140. He is Austindo 140, not Mario Kart 140.
You can also add me on the PlayStation Network. Mario Kart Wii 140.
Oh my god. Is it? I think I have you on PSN, but I think we did the real name request.
We did.
So I have no idea what your PSN handle is.
Yeah,
so
I did that with everybody.
Austin?
Yeah, I did that with everybody. That was my reasoning, because I didn't want anybody to see that and forget that was a thing. Oh my God.
Because now we're getting ready to leave, but I've just quick thing before I say goodnight. Now that we're talking about real name requests, do you ever get the weird random real name requests from people you have no idea who they are?
Yes, I do. I'll get name requests, and not just name requests, but I'll get friend requests, and it'll be like, I guess now you can, as soon as you add somebody, you can add them as a close friend or whatever, so you can automatically send your name. And so I'll get friend requests from like people that I have no mutual friends with, and they'll be like, "Hi, my name is blah blah. Would you like to be my friend?" I'm like, "No, because I have no clue who you are."
Okay, I thought it was just me because I get literally random, just instant friend requests where it's like, here's a friend request and real name request, and I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I get them too.
And it's not like I hide who I am. If you can search, we've been doing the podcast for 5 years. You can search me up. It's not very hard. I'm very visible online. I rank well in SEOs. Yeah. But it's just one of those things where it's like, no, unless I know you, don't friend request me.
Yeah, I do that too. I mean, everybody I know, I have close friended on PSN, but there's no way I'm giving my name out to some guy who has just apparently happened to cross my name on PSN. That's not going to happen.
All right, guys. Thank you, Austin, for joining us tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. YouTube guys, thank you guys for hanging out. Because I upload directly from Twitch to YouTube, Austin. So we stick around. We say goodbye to YouTube. Make sure you guys hit the like button, comment below. We love you guys. Have a good night.